Hello. Hey, ladies. How y'all doing today?
Hey, hey, hey.
Good. We good.
Hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, welcome to Life in Sync. I still feel kind of a delay, but we're gonna flow with it anyway. So, how was your day today, ladies?
Good.
Long but
Good.
good.
Good. I hope you had a productive day. Got some things done. Got some business taken care of.
Absolutely.
Moving and grinding in the right direction. And we hope that you all are joining us tonight and ready to have a conversation tonight. And what we're going to talk about
Mm.
tonight are distractions.
Yeah.
And just as working people, people with vision, being people with goals, and people that are really trying to live purposefully and intentionally, to accomplish the things that they are put here in the earth to accomplish. We all face distractions, and so distractions are things that prevent someone from giving their full attention to something else. Distractions can be also agitation of mind. And distractions can also be, when something pulls your attention away from one thing and you start to focus on something else. And so we all are in a place where it's easy to become distracted because of things that are going on in the world, things that are happening
Right.
around us, things that are happening on social media. Um, the other folks' business. Nothing will distract you like somebody else's business.
You're right
And
about
so
that.
really putting forth a conscious effort to
Mm.
not be distracted is something that we have to be intentional about. So as we go through this conversation, we'll just start with Erica, and she can share some of her experiences with distractions, how she can recognize and deal with distractions, and give her input on some things that might be able to help you as you maneuver through, especially this last quarter of the year, getting those things done, looking back at
Right.
that vision board and seeing
Mm.
what was and was not accomplished. Is it something that you can blame the pandemic for, or is it something that you did not make another strategy and improvise for? Is it something that distracted you from a forth or put forth to accomplish for 2020? So we all had goals. Most of us had vision boards, and we are people of vision. So we want to deal with these distractions and make sure that we finish this year strong.
Absolutely.
All right, Erica.
Yeah. Well, a few words that you said, keywords, you said intentional. I think that we have to be intentional in everything we're doing. When you're intentional, you most of the time you have a strategy. You're intentionally putting something together so you can get it done. When you are focused and intentional on your task, you have less, there is a less likelihood for you to be distracted. How do you know you're being distracted? If something pulls your attention from what you're focused on, when something comes in and then you're thinking, okay, my focus is on this, let me address this issue, and then something goes to the wayside, the thing you're focused on, and that distraction comes in, and now you're behind. Let's say you have a schedule, you have in 2 weeks you plan on having this paper written. Now you've gotten distracted with this, you got distracted with that, and you hadn't put the proper time in to complete that thing. So, how do you know when you're distracted? When you have stopped doing what you're supposed to be doing, you've stopped being intentional on that process, that project, that paper you had due in 2 weeks. You stop being intentional and putting aside time every day to research and study and do this and do that. And you've let other things gain your attention. And I had to look at the small things. I realized probably about a month ago how it could be something simple. I may be in the living room reading some papers or doing some work. And then I'll come in the kitchen and say, hey, I need to mop the floor. Hey, I need to wash dishes. Or hey, I need to straighten that picture up. And I'm busy doing another task I didn't intentionally set out to do. And now 3 hours have passed by and I'm doing something else. And I didn't finish the task I originally started. I got away from doing that paper or reading that article that I was trying to read. And so I think it's important that we watch the small things that come in to distract us and not get sidetracked, put them in their perspective places. If just using that small example of me being on one task in one room in the house and coming in another room and just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to work on that, tonight, or I'm going to work on that tomorrow. I need to finish what I was doing. And then I was doing that so much, getting distracted, picking up this, picking up that. And then at the end of the day, I didn't accomplish what I said I was going to accomplish. So I had to be intentional in my thinking and fight that urge and saying that multitask urge, I guess, that sometimes it's a good thing. And sometimes it's not a good thing because I put my hands on so much stuff and then you get nothing done. You didn't complete a task that you intentionally, that you wanted to do. So I think it's so important to be intentional in what you're doing so you can stay focused, being purposeful, know what your purpose is. I know my purpose when I get up in the morning. I got 3 major things I want to do. So I'm going to put a timeline. These are the things I need to get accomplished by 5 o'clock today. And I won't let anything distract me from it. So know your purpose when you're set out to do a thing, as well as preparation. You got to be prepared to do it. Do you have the proper things in line to get that thing done? You set a task, you set a goal, you got to get those things in line, prepared. And if you're not prepared, you're going to spend all day trying to get prepared. And at the end of the day, the task is still unfinished. So I think being intentional, knowing your purpose, and being prepared are 3 key factors in knowing and keeping from being distracted.
All right then. So Rhonda, what's up with you? What you got on distractions?
Distractions. To me, I think Erica made some good points about being strategic and being intentional. A lot of times we just have to be aware, like, why the distractions come. Most distractions, when they come, they are more so of pleasurable things, things that, that's easy to entice or to draw us away. And so my thing is you have to be aware of those things. Like when Erica was saying about the timeline, myself, as being, I have always been an entrepreneur, always been on my schedule. So it was so easy for me to transition. Even when I was in the military, everything was time. So, you'll realize when you do schedule, when you do get all those things into play, that, you can realize how much stuff you can get accomplished if you know what you're doing, at this time, if you know what you're doing at this time, setting forth that goal. And so being in the military kind of trained me to be that way, setting that time, knowing when to do this, making breaks for, even as something as small as, I work from home, but, I still got to make money.
Right.
So that means I got to get up at a certain time. That means that I have to even schedule restroom breaks. Yeah. I have to know how to schedule this. You just can't stop in the middle of what you're doing to run and use the restroom. So you have to be intentional with all of these things in order, to get things accomplished, and that will make you focus as far as being able to come back against distractions and knowing your time limit. I mean, hey, if you can't sit down for no more than 3 hours or to focus on whatever you got to do, that's okay. So dedicate 3 hours to that and then break. Dedicate it somewhere else, then come back. Give yourself time. You have to know yourself, know exactly, what are your triggers, and why am I so easily distracted, and then you will be able to fight against all of those things. And so that's my take on, fighting and combating against distractions. Yes, you have to be intentional, but it's one thing to schedule and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. But see, you got to go a little further. Like you have to schedule out by the hour, by the 30 minutes. You
Yes,
got
you
to know
do.
exactly what you're doing at this time,
Yeah.
at this 30 minutes, at this. Like I know exactly what I'm going to do between 8 to 8:30, 9 to 9:30. You have to know, and
Right.
so that's the thing that helps you focus and combat against those distractions because we all know they're going to come, and even when it deals with relationships, and things of that nature, you have to beware because certain relationships can be distractions, you
True.
know,
So
and
true.
not just of the opposite sex. It could be even with friendships. It could be with family. Some things are you have to be aware of. What are your distractions? Why are they your distractions? And know how to focus and line yourself up and be intentional, like you said, in order to be a productive person.
Right.
So
Right.
I say, go a little further than saying, I want to, this is what I'm going to do within 10 days. Okay, how you map out how I'm going to do it in these 10 days, and then you got to break down day by day.
Right.
Then you got to break down hour by hour. You got to know, So I was just talking to Mary not too long ago because some things have changed within my schedule, and I said now I got to sit down, map out when I'm going to do this. I had to switch my exercise around. I was telling her all this. I was sitting there trying to go through like, okay, I'm going to have to do this because this time has changed. I'm going to have to do this at this time. So you have to be intentional. And then I have children, and you got to work them in your timeline too. What are you going to do with your children between those times? And like mine are homeschooling. So got all kind of distractions.
Yeah.
But once you get, and I have to put them on a schedule.
Yeah.
So you have to, yeah. So it's all about being intentional and knowing your triggers.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So some of the tips, that I have written down concerning distractions are, you don't have to be a part of everything. Just because things are happening and things are going on and this event, that event, this particular situation, that particular situation, you don't have to be a part of everything. And the next thing is every battle is not your fight. Every battle is not your
Yeah.
fight. And sometimes we
Yeah.
want to jump in, we want to rescue, we want to save, we want to get involved, and then we lose purpose.
Mhm.
It's okay to be concerned, even in your ability to be focused. It's all right to be concerned, but you don't have to necessarily put yourself in a situation to where it's taken away from the things that you need to do. Also, make sure that you take time for self-care because one of the elements of a distraction is agitation of mind, extreme agitation of mind to the point where you can't
Yeah.
focus, you can't sleep, you just bothered. So you have to make sure that you take time for self-care, which is something that I have to make myself work on. It's time to break away to actually do something for
Yeah.
myself because it's not something that I often do.
Yeah.
But being distracted can really cost you a lot. And so we hope that, you have spent your year, not accomplishing your goals. Go dig up that
Right.
vision board and see what you said you wanted to accomplish, you wanted to start doing. It's not too late. Sometimes you have to refocus. Sometimes you have to do, like Erica and Rhonda said, start planning things even down to the 30-minute, interval of your day and making sure that you stay organized and make sure that you stay focused. Some of the things that we have to be concerned about are interruptions. We have to be concerned about obstructions. We have to be concerned about hindrances. And all three of these things are components of distractions. Now, not all distractions are necessarily bad distractions, but for what we're talking about, if they keep you from purpose, if they keep you from functioning, if they keep you from accomplishing your goals, if it keeps you in a state where your mind is agitated, if it's disturbing your peace, it's a problem. Yes, like Sandra said, procrastination is a big, it's a big old problem. I'm a
Mhm.
let's see. I am challenged at times with procrastination, but I have surrounded myself with some go-getters, like Erica, who be pressing, me to stay on task, which is good because
Uh-huh.
people say it's not good, but I do kind of do my best work at the last minute.
Under
I don't know.
pressure.
That's not the best thing to do, but
I don't like being stressed.
Okay.
because a lot of stuff we work on, I don't be stressed about it. I just be chilling. I be like, oh, it'll be all right. Like, no,
No.
this is it. Rhonda, they like, let's get this done. But me, I'm like, God gonna do it in 5 minutes. I'm just gonna lay down, ask the Lord, He gonna give it to me. Or, I can accomplish it here and there, but that's not the best thing to do.
Frustrating
And I
grace.
have functioned like that for most of my life. But I'm getting to the point now where I have so many important things to juggle that I'm gonna have to start, doing some things different. But yeah, most definitely procrastination. You got procrastination on top of a distraction. You already behind and they doing what you're supposed to do. And then you got the nerve to be distracted by something. You all the way screwed up. You ain't gonna get nothing done. So that is definitely an issue. The right kind of people. Everybody in the group can be a procrastinator. Everybody in the group can be easily distracted.
No.
So that iron sharpens iron always comes back. Most definitely. So you gotta get yourself with people who can help you in your areas where you're weak, not be intimidated by people who are stronger in an area that you're not.
Okay.
That keeps us from building relationships. That keeps us from networking. That keeps us from, having those people to help us stay focused and push us to the next level. When, I'm not intimidated by Erica's gifts. I'm not intimidated by Rhonda's gifts. They don't have an issue and they're not intimidated by mine. So things can work together, and so you really have to connect yourself with people who don't envy. I saw a comment on Facebook. It was something about envy, something like people who secretly envy you but never validate you publicly. And I thought that was really, really a good thing. But not to get off on the other subject, but when you're dealing with people who can't celebrate you, we've all seen the viral post with the little girl with the birthday cake and, somebody blew her candles out and she tagged her head real good.
Oh, yeah, I saw that
And
today.
so,
Yeah. She did more than tag. She snatched.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a distraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
it was her day.
You gotta stay focused. You gotta make sure you could. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotta stay focused. So gotta, prevent distractions. Gotta, stop scrolling so much on social media. Gotta work towards being solution focused instead of problem focused. Because a lot of times when you focus on your problems, you become, weighed down and burdened down and buried. But when we start to focus on how to create solutions for our problems, it gives us momentum. It gives us the ability to just stay self-motivated to accomplish our goals and get things done. Because like I said, there are so many things that can distract us. And so we have to really make sure, as we said, to be intentional and to be purposeful about how we carry out what we have to carry out. You got something, Erica?
Yeah, mental fatigue. You're easily distracted when you're tired. And so I think, like you said, you and Rhonda were talking about self-care, making sure you take the time out to digress, to come out of the stressful situation so you can think and strategize and realign properly. I think that's one of the prime times that distractions occur, when you're mentally tired. And you have to know yourself. I think as women, we're conditioned to push. No matter what happens, keep on going. No matter how tired, no matter what's happening, keep on pushing. And our bodies and our minds are conditioned to do just that. But when you're doing it so much and you're mentally tired, you're really not thinking straight and you're not making good decisions. And then you're easily distracted. And now you on a rabbit goose chase down yonder around the way, and you're not focusing on what you're supposed to be focused on. So it's real important that know when you're tired mentally and know when you need to pull back and take a minute. And even what Pam said, being solution focused is real important. When you have a goal in sight, when you know what you want the end result to be, if you keep your eyes focused on that, you're going to reach that goal just that more easily. And you're going to be more effective and efficient in achieving that goal. You won't spend a lot of time wasting your energy doing unnecessary stuff. So I think that's a big thing, being mentally equipped, so you don't know when you're tired mentally and know when to pull back and take a break, like Rhonda was saying.
And then also too, you know,
I'm real crazy when I get tired.
what she say?
She's real crazy when she get tired.
Oh, and then, you know, and sometimes too, right when you get focused on, you know, your goal and what you're planning on doing, you know, sometimes opportunities are distractions. You know, and when I say that, because I had to learn that, you know, I have passed down some great opportunities, but because I knew that was not a part of what I was supposed to be doing at that moment, I had to turn that down. And the thing about it is, because I had to stay focused on what I knew what was at hand at the time. You know, and so sometimes, you know, you have to look at that as well, as opportunities can be distractions too. You know, and then like Sandra was saying, you know, that procrastination. Sandra, if you get that timeline going, once you start writing that stuff down, you know, that will fight that procrastination. Because you have bind yourself to a time. You have said, this is what I'm going to do. And that's going to be in your mind. You know, that helps fight procrastination, being organized. You know, when you procrastinate, that's a lack of organization. And so that's what you have to realize too. Like, I gotta get a little more organized. And that's a part of doing that. You know, like like even now, like a lot of us, we'll pass up these things right here. But I still use it. And yes, I do got an iPhone. I don't care. I do got an iPhone. But it's something about me seeing it writing it down and me seeing the big picture. You know, so that's what I do. You know, and I have it hung up so I can know exactly what I'm doing. You know, this is it. So I'm not just saying this stuff like to be saying it. No, this is what you have to do to get stuff accomplished. And you might do good with your phone. I don't. You know, so because a lot of times I'm doing things, you know, so I have to have something where I can just visibly see it. And so that's why I still use those, and I like to write that down, because once I write it, you know, and it goes back to even being biblical. You know, when you write when something is written, it becomes that binding contract. You know, that was the whole purpose of the write the vision and make it plain. You know, so you have to realize, like, once you start writing things down and putting it into place, that becomes that contract. And so it's going to be something in your, you know, to keep you focused as far as and help fight that procrastination.
That's true. I think she froze up again. But yeah, that's helpful to me too, Rhonda, just having a calendar. And like you said, I use my iPhone and it's got alarms on it, and it helps my life run so much smoother. But like you said, having
so what about calendar, the emotion?
Yeah, where you can see the big picture. That's really good. And I get that, what you're saying. Yes, it's something to have it day by day, but when you can look at that full month and you can kind of gauge where you are, and okay, I can kind of coast a little bit this week, but I know I got to pick it back up here. That is so helpful. So I get what you're saying on that. I agree with that.
Yeah, because oftentimes my phone is a distraction. You know, I might get on there, and if I see a notification, then I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah.
I have caught myself doing that. Like, I got on my phone to do a certain thing. And here I go I'm strolling on Facebook, like, I'm wasting like 20 minutes of my day.
Right.
So, yeah, so that helps me stay focused, you know, and I make sure, like, while I'm working, I have my phone on mute. Cause I do those things to help me stay focused.
Right.
So you just have to know, like, what are you wanting out of this? What are you trying to accomplish? And when you are trying to accomplish something, you're going to set forth some kind of strategic plan to get it done. And back to like when I was in the military, we had to learn how to train, in the midst of chaos, in the midst of that, to develop your mental control. We're crawling under barbed wire in mud and water while bombs are going off. Ground is shaking underneath you. But you got to get to this certain point, because that's what they told you need to be at. So you have to, like, distractions, you have to learn how to tune all it out and stay focused on what the end result's supposed to be.
Solution focused. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to be back on.
We're glad you're back too.
Yes.
Oh no, what this all about? But yeah, making sure you manage those distractions. Before I got kicked out, I was talking about the emotional part of it, distractions, and when we allow our emotions to pull us in different directions, that can definitely be a hindrance when it comes to distractions. Because if you're just emotional, at all times, you're going to be in a place where every certain things are going to, if they appeal to your emotions, good, bad, or ugly, it's going to be a distraction for you. So you have to make sure that you're not driven by your emotions, that you're actually able to stay focused in spite of how you feel. Going even into what Rhonda was saying about the military and how they had to learn how to function in chaos. And even, especially when you're trying to do something, when you're working hard, when you're striving for something, there's always going to be things happening around you. Things are not always going to be perfect. Every bill ain't going to be paid all the time. The children may not be acting right all the time. Your marriage may not be 100 all the time. But in spite of that, you still have to keep going. You still have to keep moving. You still have to keep your focus. You still have to keep your purpose in mind so that you can be able to accomplish the goals that you set out to accomplish. And that's one of the things that we have to deal with, especially as it relates to distractions, is our emotions and how we handle the things that come up to pull us. Sometimes it's things out of, it could be the sickness of a family member. All of a sudden somebody's sick. All of a sudden you got to take somebody to the emergency room, or a car accident, or those things that come one, two, three, though, just those basic life circumstances that we can't always control, but they can take us out of our focus and keep us from reaching our destiny. And that's what it's all about. We want to fulfill purpose while we're here on the earth. We want to be able to make a difference, not only in our own life, but in the lives of other people. And so we have to really be careful about the state of our emotions as it relates to distractions. And usually when there is a distraction, I can recognize it now. Okay, this is distracting me, or this is agitating me, or this is bothering me. So I have to get myself to a place where I can manage, within the circumstance, so that I can reach my goal or accomplish the things that I'm trying to accomplish. So distractions, don't get distracted. Stay focused. Trust God and keep it moving.
Keep it
Stay out
moving.
social
Yes,
media.
ma'am.
Have you ever did a post on? You ever looked at a post on social media? Then you click on who shared the post. Then by that time you know who their baby daddy is, who their grandmama is. You done went through the whole family page. Like,
Distraction.
I never went this way.
Distraction.
Really be careful with that, and make sure that you stay focused. But this was all, just to offer encouragement, empowerment, motivation, inspiration, towards staying focused. Like I said, pull that vision board out and see where you are in the midst of all of this. We didn't know that, we were going to be in a pandemic. We didn't know that the whole world was going to be in a crisis like that. We didn't know that we are going to be dealing with, so many different things. And so many people are dealing with grief and loss and sickness and death and hurt and confusion. And some people are in lack right now. And so we have to go back and just kind of review those things, see where we are, and make some goals, get some strategies, get some timelines, and push forward and make some things happen. Any closing thoughts,
Absolutely.
Ms. Erica?
Just stay focused, keep pushing, trust God. Sums it up so you don't get distracted.
Rhonda Ray?
I'm
Yep.
good.
You good? You said your piece, huh?
I left it all on the court.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
funny because we were talking earlier
Go ahead.
about Rhonda. She said, well, I should have said this. So that's a good point. And we're all saying, yeah, you should have said that. That's why she's asking, because she has all these great points. And like, you didn't tell everybody that. That's why we asked you, what else you got, Rhonda? What else you got?
Yeah, we all working. Everything ain't perfect, but we got to encourage each other and lift each other up. So we hope that
Absolutely.
you have enjoyed our conversation tonight. Continue to live life in sync, and y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.